So this is going to be.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cindy Dupuy. I have a PhD in learning disabilities, and I'm also an adult with dyslexia and dysgraphia.
Hi, my name is Kim Sharman. I've worked with kids with ADHD, dyslexia, and dysgraphia for 15 years, everywhere from every age from kindergarten through college.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about pre-reading. Okay, and you and I were talking about what's really directly applicable for both a teacher and a parent working with their kid. And today we want to talk a little bit about what's pre-reading before you pick up literature. Now, Kim, you made a comment like, you said something, kids don't do what?
A lot of times, and I'm going to reference my kids with dyslexia too, but this applies to any student. Because they're so worried about getting their assignment done and reading the book, they don't do any pre-reading to understand the author who wrote this book, to understand the time period, to understand the conflicts going on at that time. There's a lot of things you can do before reading the book that will enhance your understanding and help you to get some critical points and critical themes about this book.
And that reminds me of a particular event that I had with one of my students. The school she was at was reading a book called 3 Cups of Tea. Do you remember 3 Cups of Tea? And I hate mentioning the name because it's actually completely made up. Like, the guy never did a lot of what he did. But anyhow, the sixth grader was handed this book that was designed for adults, and she was told to sit down and read the book. And she was like, I am completely bored. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And so I read just a little bit. I'm like, what do you understand of this, like, first page or two? And she's like, I have no clue. And I said, so do you know where this is happening in the world? She said, no. So I pulled out the atlas and I'm like, okay, so it's in this area of the world. Do you know what happened during that time? She said, no. And I was, so that backstory is really kind of critical. So, Kim, if you want to make a list that we'll show everybody at the end, sure. The first thing we would want to do is like give context for the book. Where is it historically, or when is it historically? Where is it in the world?
So location, time period, right?
Yeah, any of those kind of details that give us context for the book, right? And oftentimes kids don't have a sense of what the book, sorry about that, my eye is itching me, what the book is intending to talk about. And so what's your favorite tool for doing that? Because we talk about this one all the time.
So
website for this.
What I tell kids is, when an author, you're not in middle school anymore where you're just reading for plot. I mean, each author has a megaphone and they're trying to tell you something. They're trying to convey some kind of, whether it be a power struggle in society or a hypocrisy in society, or something strange going on with a moral dilemma, internal conflict that the character has. They want you to see, they're trying to show you this through their storytelling. And it really helps a student who has difficulty with comprehension to know that sometimes in advance.
And the favorite place that I'm trying to get you to say is
Shmoop.
What's Shmoop?
Shmoop is an excellent tool. And, there's more than Shmoop. There's lit charts, there's Shmoop, there's
Spark Notes.
And what this is not cheating. What this is by going to Shmoop, you can find the location, the time period, the themes. You can find a little bit about the author. Sometimes I even go and I read about the author first before working with a child with a book, because that author has certain background that makes him or her write the book in a certain way too.
Okay,
So
lot
all that
again,
background.
more background, but going to a good website. So that would be number 2 on our list, right?
Mhm.
Is find a website that can tell you more. Now, most of the kids say, I'm not excited about reading the book like that in the first place. And now you want me to go do more reading.
Mhm.
To which I would say that's where you as an adult kind of step in and you read it and then give them the shorter version or give the explanation. But the advantage of Schmoop is if you don't have that person to do that reading and overview, they have a little video. For example, I had a student that was reading Lord of the Flies and understanding the context of the book through that 7-minute clip just dramatically changed her perception of what she was reading for. Okay. So number 2 on our list should be discussing what we are reading for, right? So the teachers need to come in and say something around, this is why I'm picking Hoot, or this is why I'm picking Mouse, or this is why I'm picking Ender's Game. Like the teacher should have some sense of what that purpose is. And if your student doesn't know that, they should email the teacher.
And I will tell you, most teachers, the biggest request I get from kids, whether it be a history class or a science class or physics class or whatever it is, they want help with being able to, what is the purpose of this experiment? What is the purpose of
Why are
reading?
we doing it?
Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Most of the kids who read Animal Farm in middle school they miss the whole point of you know the Russian regime. I mean the whole situation with the pigs and how
They think it's
social.
about animals living on a farm taking on human
Yeah,
characteristics.
I mean it's such a deeper, and same with Lord of the Flies. There's so much more depth that the kids completely miss because they don't have a pre-reading, and a lot of times you as a parent will have to help them with that.
Right. Now, another thing that I recommend, my apologies here. I think we're going to have to pause for just a second.